some way of a show.
So we are live here for the third episode of woMAN Enterprises. I am so appreciative of everyone who has been, staying with us so far. So excited for this conversation, what we'll be talking about today. As you guys know, I am Mijane, the CEO, and this series or this season is called Falling into Business. So today I have three phenomenal women who are going to introduce themselves and they are going to join in the chat with me, and we're going to talk all things business, from the pros, the cons, the goods, the bads, all of that. So they're going to hop on in right now and they are going to introduce themselves, and then we are going to jump right in the conversation. Hello. Hey, Kalani.
Hi.
We're just waiting for Asia. There you go. In a deck. Hey, so everyone can just introduce themselves, at their own pace. Whoever wants to go ahead, you can jump right in. I don't want to introduce you or over introduce you or under introduce you. So I'm like, let y'all go ahead and just introduce yourself. So whoever wants to go first could take it away.
Sure. I'm Crystal, the CEO of A Dash of Luxe. We're an all-natural, hand-poured luxury candle boutique based out of Brooklyn, New York, but right now I reside in New Jersey. Happy to be here.
Nice.
Yes, my name is Kaylani. I am the CEO of Looks by K. I am a freelance makeup artist, and I also have a podcast called Let Us Sit Podcast, which is also on YouTube, all different platforms where we talk about all different things of life and just give our kind of like something like woMAN Enterprise. Like we're just talking and just discussing different topics and just getting into the ish of things.
Yes, yes.
Hey, my name is Asia, and I am the CEO of Reign to Success. And essentially, I just support young people and adults in locating and really trying to figure out life. So, what that looks like is with post secondary success and access work. I am located in New Jersey as well, but I'm originally from the Bronx, New York. I just had to plug that in there.
So I just realized that I never said where I was from. I'm sorry. I reign from Far Rockaway, New York.
Nice.
But right now I live in Long Island.
Nice. And I'm from the Bronx too, like Asia, but I live in Baltimore. So it's funny because we all started somewhere and then, ended up somewhere else. But let's jump right in. So I want to know how you guys got started doing what exactly you're doing. I mean, from education to makeup to, candles, like all of these things show like the different facets of women and Black women specifically. But how did you guys get like started or acclimated in your different fields?
So I actually went to Virginia Union University and I was a bio major, right? So after yes. Yeah, so after studying for hours and hours, I would actually use makeup as a form of like expression or art. So back in the days, or even like with Frozen, even if it came down, anything I saw, I was creating that look. Yeah. So like when I was in college, I will always say, oh, this is my preppy look, or this is that, and then end up being like okay, what look you doing today?
Right.
So after graduating, and we all know how hard it is to find a job, I was like, you know what? Let me see. That's when everybody was like just throwing stuff on Instagram. I'm like, let me just throw it out there and say, all right, professional makeup artist, and just see. And at that time, I was living in Richmond, Virginia. So I did hashtag RVA makeup artist and stuff like that. And I just prayed, and no lie, like the next day I had like few clients, and that was maybe 9 years ago. So moving back to New York City, it was a little hard at first, like trying to get clients and, working full time in healthcare as well. Um, it was just hectic, but Lord knows, like, he just found the way. And I was like, okay, God, I just need to get as many clients as possible and just show my craft. And God just made a way with that one.
As he usually does.
Yes.
Yes. Anybody else?
I can go next. So I went to school in Bridgeport, Connecticut, at the University of Bridgeport. I just knew I was going to become a lawyer, and some people still feel like I should. I actually took my LSAT 3 times, and I was like, this isn't for me.
Yeah.
I've always been around like youth development and things like that with my mom and like what she does, what she did. And initially I wanted to go into the Peace Corps after college, and I got to my last round of interviews. They assigned me a country to be in, and then I was just like, I don't want to go to this country. I want to go to China. And I took the Chinese language in school, so I just thought it made sense. And because my resume didn't reflect the need of that specific country, they was like, well, maybe you should go to AmeriCorps, get some experience, and then come back. So I went to AmeriCorps. I volunteered in a high school partnering with Children's Aid Society. And from there, it was like a year contract. And then from there, I worked with a HSC program, assisting like young people from the ages of 16 to 24 getting their GED at the time. But I guess with those 2 roles, it kind of just like made me realize like the Department of Education system is a little janky.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
And for me, I'm just like, I'm annoyed because these kids look like me. They come from backgrounds like me. And I'm just like, yo, like, this is an injustice. Like, what can I do to like make this better? And so that's just really where like my interest in education and just like post-secondary access work, like my passion started there. And obviously, like with all the other roles that I've held, it expanded, but that's where it sparked for sure.
I love it.
Okay.
Even similar, sorry to cut you off, but similar to me, that's what woMAN Enterprises was for me. Like, it's been 2 years going on 3 since I've graduated college. I haven't found a job. I mean, I work for myself, so like that's a good thing, but like I haven't found like what people would call a real job through a company or successfully worked for someone else post graduation. And I found that was a consistent trend with the Black women that graduated with me. All of the white women that graduated with me got into their fields. We were in the same classes. We got the same degree. We had the same level work. Mine might have been a little better, but I'm not going to toot my own horn. And it's like, what is this? And I shared this on the first episode, maybe the second episode too, because it's becoming my little testimony. Like, literally my last day of senior year in college, he literally was like, you can't graduate and start your own business. Like, you have to work for somebody, and even working for somebody, you probably won't get a job within this long. And it's like, how do we build or create something for ourselves within a system that doesn't even think about us when creating the system? Right. So what you were saying about, being in these environments, in these places where like, yo, they dealing with something that I'm either capable of dealing with or I just missed it. You know what I'm saying? So I identify with that. Sorry to cut you off. I just had to put my
okay. No, it's totally fine. So for me, it was more of I would say a right place at the right time. So I was actively looking for a business to start. Wasn't sure what field at all. I'm an indecisive Libra. But it was like the end of 2018. I had just finished reading a book on candle making and scent curation. And so within my circle, we have this tradition like around New Year's where we would all send each other like an inspiring message or a text, you know, just giving each other our flowers. Like, I pour into you, you pour into me. That's how we grow. And my cousin sent me one that hit home. She basically told me, this is the year you're going to start your business. Stop second guessing. Stop selling yourself short. Go for it. And I literally scared, confused, yet excited. I took the leap and I was like, let me just give a Dash of Lux a try. And sure enough, like that was like New Year. So it was like December, January of 2019. And like by March, I launched. And
Nice.
That's how I did it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's so important that we have those people like we're right here and they just push us off the ledge, because sometimes, well, a lot of times, especially for me, like I'm my biggest critic. So it's like this idea could totally save lives, save people, create job, whatever the case is. And me being in my own head stops me from what couldn't be or what could be, you know? So that kind of goes into the next part that I wanted to talk about. Within creating, whether it's makeup, education, whatever it is, what do you think is your mission? And then who are you targeting within that mission?
So it's funny that you say that. So when I was living in Richmond, scared as hell, moving back to New York after graduation, I'm like, oh my God, I'm coming back to New York. I gotta find a job, right? Because nobody wants to move back but mom and like having them nag you. You ain't get a job, you ain't get a job. So I was going to St. Paul's Baptist Church in Richmond, Virginia. So I was like, you know what, let me just go to church one more time if I'm about to leave. And let me just pray really, really hard. So in the midst of the prayer session, everybody had to go, you know, exchange aisles and pray, but come up to someone. So I was so into just praying, like just to God. I kind of blacked out. Somebody tapped me on my shoulder and a woman asked me, can she see my hands? So I was like, okay. So she's like, I want to see your hands. And she basically was telling me that God is going to bless you with your hands. Is going to be a gift that you're going to give to women.
Wow.
And it's so funny because I always said I wanted to do makeup for women as in domestic violence shelters. But by this year, I was able to do that and do free work basically. And I gave 12 women from a shelter at my church. We all donated so much different food and clothes, mostly clothes. Like I wanted to give them like a boutique type of feel. Where you can like have your shirt, you can have your coat, you can have your bag, you can have your shoes, like and then we just help you, you know, guide you to different things. And then after we was able to basically give them a makeover for free, and I felt like that was like a circle of life, like from that, and that was about 4 years ago. When this lady came up to me about my hands. So I'm like, when am I going to be able to, you know, and living in New York City, I'm like, I'm working for NYU. So it was like, I had to be at work, especially during the pandemic a lot. So I was like, all right, God, I don't want to put my things on hold, but I know that you're just using me at different times. So it was hard at first. I'm not going to lie, but I felt like my target audience was definitely women that was, and domestic violence, low self-esteem, and that just needed, you know, a lot of women can't afford to have a makeup artist. So a lot of times for Mother's Day, well, this year we did a free makeover for some women, and then we're gonna do something bigger next year. So
I love
think
that.
my target audience.
And I think it's really great that you could, you know, connect what you do to what the lady spoke over your life, because a lot of times we get a word and we're like, how does this word apply to me, you know? And when people think of makeup, they automatically go like, I'm gonna get a lot of clients, I'm gonna get a top of the line client or the glamorous or whatever. And we forget about those people who aspire to, you know, live these glamorous lives, but necessarily don't have the means to. For my senior project in college, when I graduated in 2019, I did a project and it was called 22. And 22 had two entities. One was community service and give back, and then the other portion was like for, I called it like a profit plus purpose, right? So what it did was, part of it, like we sold merch in as like a store or a boutique, and then the other part was the like 25% of the proceeds went to giving back. So for my senior project, I actually went to a real live shelter, and
Nice.
we created a pop-up shop in the shelter, and the shelter had mainly men and boys. Like there weren't really women there, but we got like sweatpants and t-shirts, and we set up like a little cash register, and we had bags for them to just go around. So I've always wanted to create this kind of um expensive luxury idea for people who don't necessarily have the means to experience that. So what you said literally reminds me, of that project to a T.
Yeah,
So
and you'd be shocked how many people you know.
yeah.
Because at first, the domestic violence shelter that my church was trying to aim for had about 50 women. But with domestic violence shelters, a lot of times it's really low key. It's hard to do a lot of stuff with domestic violence. So we did our local shelter. So I went from 50 to 150 people in that shelter that we had to provide clothes for. So I literally went from the top floor of my building. Every woman that I found, it didn't matter what size. I was just like, FYI, if you got some clothes that you want to get rid of, please let me know. Like, and then it would end up being like, to this day, I have a car full of clothes in my trunk. Because people just like, oh, remember when you said you wanted some clothes? Here, I got some clothes. Then it started getting overwhelming.
Yeah. Yes. Anybody else?
I'll go. So when I started out, I actually just I wanted my brand to be a household name, like, like any other product-based business. But as I got to really get into it, I've learned that I wanted to be a little more. I wanted to be intentional with it. I wanted to create a community of a lot of I wanted like-minded people that love the same type of sense that I love, or love the same type of vibes that I love. So I really just wanted to create a community, and I do that from start to finish, not just being like sale based, but actually being relationship based and building those connections. So yeah.
Yeah, I love that. My friend in college, I got a story for everything. Literally, I feel like I became an entrepreneur when I was 15. So it's going on 10 years because I'm gonna be 25 next year.
Nice.
So from this, like between working with my mom, my brothers, my parents, my husband and I are about to launch something. So like my friends and I have done stuff. It's just like you see so many different areas. And one thing that my friend in college told me, her name is Kaya. I referred to her last week because she got all the good nuggets that I be needing. She told me that when you remain true to yourself, your tribe will find you. Because I always wanted to create something that was like, yo, I want these people to be like, whoa, da, da, da. And she was like, everybody's not gonna be like, whoa. Like everybody's not going to gravitate to your product or your project. Like what you're doing is not gonna be for everybody. But if it's true to who you are, and if it's telling, your story, then whoever identifies with it, let them come, and they'll follow you. So I think it's so important that we stay true to self when creating a brand or business. One, because it becomes more enjoyable for us, but in addition to that, it's easier to sell or easier to share your story when it's authentic.
Right. You never run out of ideas. You never run out of next steps because it's you being you, and they are similar to you. So I agree.
For sure.
So I feel like, obviously, like I told the story about working with the DOE and stuff, and that kind of like sparked me. But like also coming in contact with all these different young people that I think when I first really got into this field, I was like 23. And a lot of the kids or the young people that I've encountered were not too far off from my age. And I think my biggest awakening was when I worked at the HSE program to see all those people that were not far off from age from me either be in, they were pushed out of the educational system, and no one was asking necessary questions. No one was asking like, well, what's happening at home? Like, why can't you make it to school? Like, is it like, do you have clothes? Are you being abused, or what's happening? Why are you staying up? Like, a lot of the kids that I came in contact with were either they either got locked up and they stopped going to school, and then they came back. And then by that time, it was too late for them. They had aged out of like school.
Mhm.
So thinking about all these things and like encountering this and hearing all their stories, I start to ask questions about like, well, what are your dreams? And like, where do you see yourself after high school? Do you see yourself going to college? And a lot of them couldn't ask these questions, like answer these questions. And for me, that bothered me. And then I started to ask myself, like, what support did you have, like, that helped you get through school? And my mom essentially was that support. She was a single parent raising a son and a daughter. My brother and I are night and day. School, not for him. Me, breeze. But she did she did what needed to be done in order to get him through school. And one thing she always maintained was, if it's not college, you have to do something.
Something.
Yes.
So for me, that's one thing I always push to like all my students is like, it doesn't have to be college, but what is it? Like, let's figure something out. What are your interests? Like, let's explore yourself. And a lot of times, like, people don't have that person to really help them like explore themselves and really figure out what it is that they're good at. And even if it's something that they start for a month, right? And they say, Asia, that was me as a kid. Like, Mom, I wanna do ballet. I did it for 2 months. I had another niche that I wanted to do. And eventually she was like, all right, you got to figure something out. But I'm that person. Like, if you tell me this is what you want to do, I'm going to push you there and I'm going to get you there and we're going to get it done. And just so that like, what you like to do. And at least you can say you did it. So for me, I guess my target audience would be young people and adults as well, because I work with adults. And of all ages, and specifically like people that look like me, because we don't have the same resources as everyone else. So that's my biggest thing. Like, let me bring these resources and opportunities to my community, because we have to be further than what we are.
Yeah.
Period. And it bothers me as well. Living in Far Rockaway, even when I went to prom, like out of a lot of my friends, everybody pretty much came to my building or, like to see me go off. Because my family came from the Philippines, my grandmother. So when she came to New York, it was kind of like, all right, I'm raising these mixed kids and they treated me just as, it was just as hard. So growing up, I didn't really have an option. Like, I wasn't able to really get a job like in high school. Everybody was cool, like getting a job. It was like, no, school is your main job. That's it. You don't have a plan B. It's like you have to get out of here, So being able to come back, and just pushing a lot of my friends, or even like young kids that I saw that was like little kids, but now they're grown up, and now I'm seeing them like hanging out at the liquor store, like, hanging out at the back store, smoking cigarettes, and, and it's like, give yourself a chance. Give yourself an opportunity to even try to better yourself first before you just think that this is the only option,
Yeah.
And we got to do better, especially education for our community, and make it a good thing, not like a forceful thing, or make it fun to want to go to school and do things, and so kudos to everybody, for real. That was really dope.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think what's crazy about what Asia is doing is not only are you helping them, but you're exposing them to better. Like it says, like give yourself a chance for better. A lot of people haven't been out of the Bronx. Like forget been out of New York. A lot of people haven't been out of Brooklyn. And it's like they don't know that they can do better because they haven't seen better.
Seen it. Right.
So then that's where representation, comes into play, because it's like, if I'm the only Black girl that they seen get out of New York, now I really got to put on for the whole wherever, because I'm all AC. You know what I'm saying? Like if nobody else is leaving, if everybody is in my circle is staying here, and there's nothing wrong with staying, in one place. But I think that there's something super significant about seeing that there's so much more than just this one place, because that expands your mind. Like I was granted the opportunity to live in Hong Kong for 3 months and travel there and learn there, and go to school my senior year there. And it was just like, I've been out, granted, like before I went to Hong Kong, I've been out of New York. Like I've been several places, but it was like, yo, that was my first time leaving the country. Yeah. So that was something like within my friend group, like, oh, like she did a thing. And it wasn't for clout, but it was like, yo, we all gotta leave. Like it's crazy. Like I never seen water that you could see through. You know what I'm saying? Simple stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So I think everybody on this call, and just the women that watch, or the women that have been a part of the panel and will continue to be a part of the panel, just offer so many different things. But I think it's about the angle and the representation. Like you can be a Black candle maker. Is there a specific name? I don't want to be saying candle maker if that's not the proper term.
Chandler. They're called Chandlers. But you can say candle maker. Yeah, to each his own.
Like, you can be a Chandler. You can be an education director, or what you call it? I'm messing up all of the names, but the point is, like, there's mad different areas where you could do something. And everybody might not want to be into fashion. Everybody might not want to do makeup. But I think like having that, like, yo, I could do this, I could do this. Or I didn't even know making candles was a profession. Like I didn't know I could make money from that. I just thought that I loved candles and that was the mat. You know? So I'm just passionate, yo.
No.
I love it.
First of all, I love it. I feel like I'm like, okay, I'm just so grateful that KB reached out to me, even told me to be on the panel, because I'm like, oh my God, these are some really dope women. Like, and when I was in college, it's funny, I joined a ministry called Destiny Daughters Empowerment Ministry, right? And the CEO of it, her name was Melody Pinnell. And I remember I was just so into, you don't even realize the little things, like, all right, getting my eyelashes done or whatever. And we end up just linking over a conversation over eyelashes. And then she ended up being my spiritual mother, then getting me to discover what my niche was. I didn't even know what a niche was. Like, just the term. I felt so ignorant at one point, because I was like, how does everybody have like something that they're good at? And I didn't really know what it was until she sat me down and she said, well, what's something that you can do kind of the easiest, pretty much, without effort? And I was really sitting there and I was like, making people feel good. Yeah. Making them look, and it's not really just looking good. Like a lot of women, you really don't know what they go through until I really started doing makeup. And then, or how a lot of women really struggle with their self-esteem. Right. And just doing that one thing, like just getting their makeup done. I remember at one point I couldn't afford to do my makeup. So I was on YouTube and, just teaching myself and doing little, soft beats. And okay, let me do a dramatic beat. Okay, let me start doing little horror stuff, and just sitting in my room and just doing that for like hours, and you really be shocked how just doing even something for free can do, and help somebody, whether it's like helping them with their education or even teaching them how to make a candle. Like I love candles, but I'm like, I don't even know where to start. Like I'm like, I don't even know where to start. So yeah, it's like, no, I make them. It's like, oh, okay, well, buy what is it called? Bath and Body Works.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, see you later.
Yeah, that's so crazy how you were saying that when you do makeup, it helps them and it's a self-esteem booster. It's crazy for two reasons because my husband and I were having a conversation. Listen, y'all, I just moved to Baltimore, so I ain't got no friends yet. So y'all gonna hear my husband and I because he be rocking with me through everything. So we were talking about things that we like to do, and he sings and he's a musician, so he likes to, do his stuff. And I was like, everything I like to do costs money. Like, I don't have free hobbies.
Yeah.
So like he likes to play, he can go and play the drums and all of this or sing for hours. And I'm like, what? I was seriously sitting there thinking, like, what do I like to do that doesn't cost money? He's like, if it costs money, just do it. And I'm like, it's so crazy how, like, to some people it's maintenance, but to other people, like, it's therapy. Like, to be able to get my hair done, to be able to get my nails done,
Yes.
like, it's just like, this is what I like. I like doing nothing. This is nothing. I enjoy nothing.
Same.
So it was crazy for that reason. But then the other part to it was like, I don't consider myself to be like a hairstylist or makeup artist, but like my sister-in-law, my friends, like I'm the friend that just knows how to do stuff. So if you couldn't book an appointment, just come over and I'll fix it.
Yeah.
So I'm that friend, right? So it's like when I am able to help them, then I'm like, dang, like I hope they even like their hair, but I feel good because they asked me to help them. So while we're helping someone else heal or help someone else feel better about whatever the situation is, I feel like it's helpful to me too, and it might be helpful to you. Like, dang, I really went in there and helped these domestic violence, these women that were dealing with domestic violence. Like, that's some kudos to you for going even in that situation. Like, that's 12 clients that could have been paying you. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
it's like that service should make your heart feel good because you're giving back in a different way than people look. Like, giving back is just not canned goods or clothes or like
money, like at church you're tied. Like, that's a sense of tie, like doing service, like free service rather.
Right. For sure. So what should people expect from you guys? Like, you guys have told me your mission, you guys have told me your target audience. What are they like? Like, what's the day in life as your service or as your client? So if I'm your client, like, what am I expecting with the interaction, with the product? Like, what am I getting myself into? Just in case we have any viewers who want to get a cancel, who want to get their face done, who wants to sign up, for your services. Asia, like, what should we expect?
For me, my day could look very different. It really depends. It could be very like uniformed and very different. So I would say from my standpoint, you can expect me to be very clear and direct and inquisitive about who you are so that I can figure out my biggest thing is when I'm meeting with someone and I'm offering advisement, I want the plan that I'm creating in my head to reflect them. Like, I don't have like a one size fit all when I meet people. So yeah, definitely like be open to it's like a conversation, right? Like, you're telling me where you want to go, like where you see yourself, and even if you don't have those answers right now, like, we can figure it out together. So just expect like the support from me, and then also accountability as well, because time is precious, and the biggest thing is like the only way I can help you is if you're prepared as well. A lot of times people come to advising sessions with me and they don't necessarily have like the things that they need in order to get the job done in this specific meeting. So I'm very big on accountability, and I'm not rough or mean because I hate when people yell at me because I shut down. But I'm more so like, all right, like, what was expected. how can we fix this type of thing? And I think, yeah, just be open to me. I'm not like a standoffish person at all. I'm very nice and funny at the same time.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
So normally, for me, I do require a non-refundable deposit, just because, you know, time is precious, you know. But what I do, I'm that makeup artist that's very, very like somewhat nosy. Like I want to know, what are you wearing? I want to know what details. So what can I do to what are you expecting? Where are you going? Like like I'm one of those. I'm just during the consultation, what is your skin type? Um, you know, depending on the occasion, you know, are you giving me free range to just create something? And because I hate, and I'm not going to say hate because hate is a strong word. I don't like kind of redoing the same look. Like I do notice that I have a lot of clients that are just very safe. They like, you know, I just want very soft, you know, someone like I don't have no makeup on, but I want makeup. You know, or then I may have those fun clients that like, you know, beat me all the way down, and or, you know, I want everybody to see my highlight from afar. Like I want to be, you know, glam all the way out. Or sometimes I like to collab with photographers and say, hey, I just want you to create. This is what I have and this is what we're doing. Or depending on if you need me all day, what type of looks we're doing. Like for my podcast, because my other two co-hosts, one lives in Richmond, Virginia, and another one lives in New York. And you know, everybody's schedule is just all over the place. We actually record once a month. So I actually am the makeup artist as well, like for us. Because you know, girls, we gotta stick together. Like I can't be the only one all beat down all day. We gotta be in, you know, together, right? And so
Uniform, yes.
Yeah, uniform. So I'm just like, what are you wearing? Like, you know, just so I can make sure your looks, you know, your makeup go with all four of the outfits, because that's the most hectic part. But you can expect free eyelashes for one. I'm like, whether you have them, it just comes with the package. The beginning is kind of like a spa type, you know, prepping your skin, and you're gonna get a vibe. Like, you know, we're gonna actually be like somewhat girlfriends as I'm doing your makeup, and you know, just getting to know each other. And a lot of my clients end up becoming like close friends or family.
That's dope.
I love that. Just to piggyback off what you said, I love you're gonna get a vibe, because that's my whole thing. I always say, ignite your vibe, ignite your vibe. That's what it is.
Vibes and everything.
That's what it is. Yeah. So for me, I want them to expect more than just getting a product. I want it to be an experience. So my whole process, mission, everything is geared towards curating this tribe. So I'm always reevaluating maybe my aesthetic, content, maybe how I contact them. I'm always asking for feedback just to make sure the space is actually geared and catered to them, because we're a tribe. I'm always consistently showing up for my brand. I do that by trying to stay as transparent as possible, letting them know I love that you guys love my products, but it is still only just me. You know what I mean? So like, not to say that like the process is going to be a little slower, but just bear with me. Like we're in this together type thing. I think that's what kind of sets me apart from my competitors, because there's, you guys know, there's several candle brands, several Black female owned candle brands, several cheaper candle brands, but they don't provide the same vibe. They don't provide the same quality of service. They don't provide the same tribe and everything else that I bring. So I would say that's what they should expect from me.
I want a candle. This is what it is.
I'm like,
okay. I got you.
You can contact.
I know.
Yes.
Up, they saying the customer service is A+. You got a fan club in here, a tribe in here.
Yes.
It's gonna be a part.
And Meg, don't even worry. I know you say you don't have a lot of friends. My best friend actually lives in Maryland, so I be out there kind of often because my godson, he lives right outside of Baltimore.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, but she's always in Baltimore because her boyfriend lives in Baltimore now.
Got it.
So yes, we will definitely be keeping contact.
For sure. So this is the part of the I gotta figure out a name. I'll be calling this a visual podcast, a panel discussion, whatever y'all want it to be is what it's gonna be. But this is the part of our chat where we call it like keeping it real. And I'm gonna get a little graphic so like pop up on the screen when I say this because it gets real. It get kind of real during this part. Like this is where the tea spills.
Okay.
And it's mainly because I'm a very super transparent person when I'm in a comfortable environment. Like if I'm not, that's definitely a different story. But I feel that we're all being, vulnerable with our craft, vulnerable with our process, and that makes me feel comfortable to one, be myself and be open about crazy clients, or we won't use the word crazy, but like clients who are projects
like that.
Any challenging projects, any downfalls when becoming an entrepreneur and when coming to grips with being an owner of anything. It comes with the beauty part, the missions, the goals, but it also comes with like, I'm ready to throw my laptop out of this elevator, out of this window. I said elevator because I live on the 18th floor. So that's a long time. The laptop is broke. So the first question with the keeping it real portion is, what do you think you guys, what is your biggest challenge?
I could go. I think in this field, educational field in general, it's constantly changing, and you have to like keep your ear to the streets and to like your net, like you have to expand your network because things can change tomorrow and you don't even know.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely like networking and just like making sure that you're up to date with all the new policies and like whether it's college, like application processes, and it's a lot. Like sometimes I get frustrated specifically with like financial aid and like schools, and they just be doing the most sometimes. Like, let's be real. And they don't like answering their phones. So you got to figure out what's the best time to call. So definitely like just understanding that this field is constantly changing and you have to change with it and also find a way to really like know your information. So
yeah.
I feel like a challenge for me is living in New York City, being a makeup artist is kind of like, oh, everybody's like a makeup artist and stuff like that. And it's not even really like the money aspect. I really pray for a specific flow of women, and I love the diversity, but and the money is always great, but at the same time I like to merge and do projects with people. Like that's where I feel like what I'm trying to get into more, especially just in all of the world, period, but New York City in general, just trying to be in places where I can network more, where I can meet creatives, like meet different artists, whether it's like makeup or just music. Like that's how I met KB. My god sister Yummy Bingham, like I was doing her makeup, and that's how somehow like the Holy Spirit just came in and everybody just started falling into a tribe in a sense. And I feel like sometimes that can just happen just by being authentic, how we were saying earlier. But the biggest challenge is meeting the people, especially during the pandemic. a lot of people were inside. So it was like, how can I still reach out, trying to do Zoom meetings or one-on-ones? But yeah, mostly just getting to the people and getting to the client rather, and finding different initiatives and fun ways to target, my audience.
I would say my biggest challenge would be scaling my business while still working a fast paced 9 to 5 and balancing like my personal life, like keeping my mental health, physical health top of mind. And I honestly am a candle lover, like to the T. That was one of the main reasons why I read the book on candle making. So making sure I don't get lost in the business side of it and still being able to enjoy the craft. So to me, that would be it. Trying to continue to keep continue to keep the balance, excuse me, while still enjoying being this entrepreneur in the field that I love and still giving the same quality of service I want to give to my tribe with it only being just me.
Yeah, that's so important. I can relate to that mainly because I tend to spread myself really thin.
Same.
So and it's not even with like, because I told you guys like I'm not working a 9 to 5 anymore, but I'm working a few different things now. So, with woMAN Enterprises, we hired our first talent in our agency last week. So we've been trying to maintain what that process looks like between my team and I. We've been trying to figure out the paperwork for her, getting her paid, making sure, her everything that her membership includes, she's getting. How do we better service her? How do we, and it's just one. So I feel like if we can master one, when they all come, we run the same play, but it's the first one. So I'm trying to do that in addition to I have Ming, which is my other baby, and that is my clothing brand. And before I was using a manufacturer that, between the manufacturer and the supplier, like they would just ship the stuff and I would put the words on it or sew something, whatever. But now with the collection that I'm dropping, everything is hand sewn. So I'm trying to do woMAN Enterprise to do this. And then me and my husband have a project we've been working on that's coming out. So it's like, I work the best when I'm always working, because if I just do woMAN Enterprises, it's like I'll get lazy. And I can say that it's manageable, but at the same time, I'm like, okay, and he's very good at being like, put the computer down. Like he's like, if you punch in the screen, I think it means you need to take a break. And I'm like, no, it's just not working. And he's like, the computer is flickering on and off. I think it's broke. I think you need to. So, it's good having a best friend and a husband all wrapped in one, because I need that. Like, okay, Nay, eat. Okay, Nay, like, and of course he's not around, but he's around most of the time. So I think that the balance, and even my team, like today I text them. We usually text in the morning. Like we'll send like a crazy gif of someone twerking, or it'll be a scripture, like whatever the morning is saying, and it'll just be the motivation. In this morning, like I got up early. And I told my husband, I was like, I'm gonna go in the room and I'm gonna pray. He's like, you good? I'm like, yeah. And I text the girls and I was like, I need y'all. And I think that's what's so important about having a tribe or a community, because it's very hard for me, one, being the oldest child and being the oldest female child, and then on top of being Black, that it's hard to be like, yo, I need help.
Right.
So today I really felt vulnerable enough to text the girls and just be like, yo, like today is rough. Yesterday was rough and I'm getting back, and I'm saying a prayer. I hope y'all could, stretch out your hands from wherever y'all at, but I really need that uplifting. And they were just there. And I think that's what's so dope about woMAN Enterprises, and the agency / consultancy business is called We Group. But I think that's so dope about y'all ignore my husband in the comments, because
I'm just trying to be helpful.
Thank you. I think just you distracted me. I think it's important that we just all have this community of women that's like, I got you.
Right.
And for me, that's been hard. One, because I'm in a new area. So I don't really have friends to call me and be like, yo, let's go to brunch. Let's do this. Let's do that. So being able to work with women who get it, both work and personal, it is super dope. So my team, they in here in the comments and all of that. But Barry, Tina, Imani, I really love y'all and I really appreciate y'all so much. So it's switching. It's about to switch the conversation, but I just had to say that before we switch. But what's the tea on y'all clients? Like, because I'm gonna just get right to it. Like, I know that it's challenging working with people and being a small business, but what are the challenges that you guys have had, if any, with clients specifically?
I feel like for me, my biggest challenge was, and I don't know if it was purposeful, like, but it would end up being like my 10th in a row client. Like, this is my first time getting makeup, but just I haven't really had a lot of people who already wear makeup, who's comfortable with makeup, who likes makeup, who enjoy, like, if it wasn't a model type thing, or I was always getting people or clients who really had somewhat trust issues, if that makes sense. Like, giving them that reassurance, like, I got you. Like, like, I don't only just know how to do mine. Like, I taught myself as far as textures, different, undertones, and, just knowing their skin type, looking at their skin type, and, just looking at everything, and cleaning everything, and just letting them know you will look the same. I promise you. Like, if not a little more polished or a little bit better, or having a client that always want to have the mirror, like, like, let me just hold on real quick. And my policy and my, like, and just in general, is no mirrors nowhere. It's so weird. You won't see a mirror on the wall. You won't, nowhere. Like, the only time you get a mirror is at the very end. So it's kind of like building that trust, and letting them know, like, my favorite part is the very end. Like, when they finally get the mirror, or that point, like, oh, let me get it. Like, yeah. And they, and just seeing the reaction, seeing that they were pleased, and seeing that I was a woman of my word.
Right. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, I love getting my makeup done, but I do got trust issues in the makeup and in the chair hair. Chair hair. Hair chair.
The hair chair.
Yeah.
Jesus. Yes, I do. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because I feel like I can pull off anything. Like, people have dead cut off my hair and I just asked for a trim. And when I'm saying cut off, like, I walked out with a bob right here.
With a bob.
I just wanted a trim. Yeah. So I feel like I can pull off anything, but, like, I don't always be trying to pull off crazy stuff. People really be messing my hair up. So when I get in the makeup chair, I'm chilling. Like, I won't ask for a mirror, but I don't want to get up looking dead. I don't.
Look, let me tell you. So this year, one of my close friends, she was redoing her logo, and she sells bundles. Like, she has, like, the pillowcases and everything. And normally I did a photo shoot for her before, but she was like, okay, Kay, you just have to put the wig on, like, you just, the one you just throw right on, and it's just no glue, no lay down. So I was like, all right, cool, no problem. So she, like, put it down, but this time she was like, all right, Kay, I need you to wear a lace front. Y'all, I don't know why I was so stressed out. Like, the whole process, I was like, wait, how is this going to work? Like, I was so scared to sweat. I'm like, y'all, I sweat from my head. Like, this thing might come off. Like, and she was like, hey, I'm not going to let you do the makeup this time. I'm going to get another makeup artist and have you be the model today. So I haven't really had too many people do like my makeup. And I knew it wasn't that hard, but I was like, Kaylani, you about to be that client. Like, don't do that. Like, just sit, close your eyes, and I was really enjoying myself. I was able to really see what it feels like on the other end, like, to get pampered and surprisingly end up being the photo that's in the slideshow.
Nice.
That ended up being the wig.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Shameless plug. We do have mirrors on the website.
Ooh.
We talk about mirrors, and I couldn't help myself. Don't wear them to your appointment with Kaylani. Don't take it there.
Yes, and make sure you bring that mirror.
Yes, they're just $5, and they say I'm a black mogul. If you guys want to cop up on our website,
I need one of those.
Yes. Okay,
so
sorry. I just had to. It was just the perfect opportunity. I was like, we gotta promote the mirror.
Gotta promote.
Yes.
Mirror. Yes.
I love it.
Yeah. So another question. And I know everybody didn't get to answer, but I think everybody will be able to pitch into this next question. Have you guys ever been called the angry black woman? And if so, how did it make you feel? Like, what was the vibe? Asia said.
Okay, so if you're on my close friends on Instagram, you hear all my stories. So a big part of why I started doing this like work on my own is because being in a nonprofit world, specifically like a predominantly white nonprofit, it can get real toxic. I always tell people, if you ever watch Insecure, I'm Issa. Basically,
you are.
Remember when she was at we got y'all.
We got y'all.
Yeah. That's mine. Yes. So
I love that show, by the way.
Same.
Me too.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yes.
But definitely I think in my share of roles that I've had in this work, I've definitely been called an angry black woman. I've been called aggressive. And it would make me really angry. And I would vent to like my colleagues, and I would tell them like, it's weird that when I speak up for myself or I speak up for my students, like I'm being chastised. But if someone that doesn't look like me or a man speaks up for himself, it's not like shunned. I remember I had this role at this organization. I'm not going to name their name, but we had like this workshop with our kids, and we were playing Uno. And at the end of the game, my supervisor came to me and he goes, I think you were a bit aggressive. So I'm like, we playing Uno. Who's nice in Uno? Like,
right.
No friends in Uno. He's like, I think you just need to check in with the students. So I go and I talk to the student. I'm like, did I offend you in any way? Was I being aggressive? He's like, no, we were playing Uno. Like, and I'm like, exactly. Thank you. But it became like a bigger thing. Like, if I voice my opinion about something, and I'm very opinionated when it comes to my work because I want the best for anything that I do, I want to put out the best. And he just didn't know how to take feedback from me. And I think a lot of it had to do with me being a black woman. And I had to tell him, I'm like, I think you have to be cautious about your words and like how you choose to express how you feel, because using like telling me that I'm aggressive, and the world already paints me as an angry black woman, and they have this notion that all black women are aggressive and all these things. It can be offensive. And if I have to be mindful of how I reach out to you or speak to you, you have to be mindful of the same thing.
Surely.
Yes.
But I take it, I don't know, like I work for myself now. That's what I
You, Kristen?
I can definitely agree. and being called mixed or, and stuff like that. But when you are in a predominant or working with people that's not your color, like, in a sense, I'm like, Asia, I'm very, very opinionated. You can't tell me, okay, you did this, and that, and I need you to sign off, and that's it. And Kaylani, I need you to agree what I'm saying, and I need you to write off. I'm the type, no, I'm not signing anything, and we're going to take it to a higher. Now I need your manager to be there, and we need a full discussion panel. And not being afraid to be that person that's going to challenge, I guess, management and, higher superior, because I'm like, we all bleed the same, and I need you to explain deeper. Like, if I'm going to sign anything, I need to see examples. How did you help me better myself?
Yeah.
And it was just so annoying. Or every time you feel like you're opinionating yourself, like you're being a pest, or here we go again, like that feeling. And how people, they can make you feel that way without even saying it. Like, oh, here we go. Like, I know she's about to say something, or just having an opinion. But if somebody else had an opinion, it's like, oh, well, thank you for the initiative, or, or just being troublesome. So it's like, girl, you're preaching to your tribe, okay? Because I definitely, I hate that whole notion of being Black and having to watch how you react when you are upset. Everybody gets upset. Like, even foreigners, when, you get upset, they may, curse in a language, or, and everybody had, definitely a time and place for everything. But just to show it, just a slight case of aggravation, especially if you're dealing in a fast pace, sometimes you may get that emotion. I'm like, that don't mean that I'm a angry Black woman. No, I'm just a little upset, or I'm a little flustered, or, I'm a little irritated with a situation. I'm not even really angry. Like, so the labels, I just really hate it.
Yeah.
But
I agree. I despise the labels as well. I have yet to be called an angry Black woman. However, I do have resting witch face. So immediately people just assume, and I'm from Brooklyn. I talk with my hands in my head. They feel like that's what they're gonna get. And 9 times out of 10, they'll already approach me aggressively, and then I'll start talking, and it's like they're taken back. Only time I can say that, well, I've never been called an angry Black woman. But the time where I felt like I was, probably getting there is sometimes, I'm a creative. I'm passionate about my stuff. So there'll be times people come over, they'll smell it, like smell a candle, and it's not for them. And they may sense up their nose or something like that. Then I'm looking out the corner of my eye, like, what didn't you like? What was it? But it would be me really just wanting to know why. Like, well, let me find something that you like. But I've never been called an angry Black woman yet.
yes.
Yeah.
I love your passion and to know, like, why, like, how, what didn't you like about it? Was it, the hint of this? Was it the hint of that? And I think that's the artist in you.
Right.
And just being a good entrepreneur of wanting to better your craft, and just wanting to do better, like, in general. So that's super cool too.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So I see we've had a lot of, interaction, and usually we have questions in the comments, but this episode y'all been just getting shouted out. So we have one question that my team just sent me. So we can start with the question. It's on the screen. And then after the question, I want you to speak to your younger self. And it's Kalani, Asia, and Crystal, right?
Right.
So once we do speaking to your younger self, we're gonna start with Crystal, and then you guys can, like, give your plugs, your Instagram, and all that stuff. But I want us to answer this last question, and then we can talk to our younger selves. So can you guys just put the question back up on the screen when you get it? Thank you.
Is it easy to get discouraged?
Is it easy to get discouraged in your field, be it education, beauty, or products? Have you ever had a maybe this isn't gonna work moment?
I'll start.
Go
Oh, sorry. You can go.
ahead.
Go ahead, Crystal.
Oh, yes. it's it's so easy to get discouraged, especially if you like all right, so I'll speak for myself. I don't have a mentor. I read a book on how to make candles, but not how to run a candle business. My previous jobs and my current job, it is in customer service and customer experience. So I know how to speak to people, but this is people spending their hard-earned money. This is people trusting in my little tiny business that I started in a kitchen. So they have questions, and sometimes they may not be nice with how they present it, or sometimes it's things that I've never even. Sometimes the questions I get truly I've never heard of. They don't make any sense, but I am the face of my brand, and that's how I have to run my business. So I always take those things. I sit with it, right? I sit with whatever the question is, the feedback, whatever obstacle I'm facing, and I use my resources. So I'm very fortunate to have other small business owners that are kind of going through the same thing. So I'll brainstorm with them, bounce ideas off them. Maybe they know of a resource that'll help me with whatever obstacle I'm facing, and I pray. So you take it day by day, because the life of an entrepreneur is not written in stone. Today might be a good day, tomorrow might be a worse one, the day after that might be even worse. But you started for a reason. It's in your heart for a reason, and you just have to put one foot in front of the other and keep pushing.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I remember in the beginning, just, I graduated as a bio major. So it was just always like, okay, school. And at first it ended up becoming a hustle, like how I was able to pay my bills. Like, no, mom, I got it this month. Like, I had enough, just reaching out to people. And I remember when I used to have my prices very, very low. Like, I'm talking about like $25 beads, like, when we on campus, and I feel like that was like kind of like a lot. Like, people in college was broke, like, so I'm like $25 beads, and then like $40. But then, when you start pushing it up, a lot of times people was like, all right, I'm gonna get back to you. Mm-hmm. So then I was like, dang, is it too high? Like, and then I had somebody sit me down and said, listen, your price is your price. Your price is your time. Your price is valuable. Your time is valuable. You will find a client that will say, okay, no problem. And I will give you a tip as well. Like, if they can't afford it right now, well, then, it is what it is. And I was only charging like $70. Mm-hmm. Like, even now, like, a lot of people be charging hundreds and this and that, for something that I can teach you in 20 minutes and you don't really need me no more, really. So my challenge was finding the right price and knowing my worth and putting that price to that service and sticking on it. Cause I'll be like, well, for you, in the beginning, like, cause everybody, a lot of our friends, we want a discount. And I'm like, you know what? I ain't gonna do this like no more. Like, I like, just forget it. Like, and then I just have some clients I like, oh, that's it. And it made me realize, like, well, maybe I needed to up things, or, maybe I need to add another service to show this price, like, so it can make sense. Like, giving multiple services as I'm doing your makeup, so.
Yeah. So can I say something about that, Asia, before you go? I don't want to cut you off. So with the price, you could talk to anybody from the team and they'll tell you that was an area that I was very like hesitant into, because I'm the person like, that's my cousin. She could get a discount. That's my cousin too. I don't know her yet, but like, you just want to be so generous.
Yeah.
And they were like, yo, like, what you're teaching us, what we're learning, the community we have, like, it's not free. Like, you wake up, from the time that I wake up till I go to sleep, we're texting, like, we're on GroupMe, or like we're on Slack for work. But it's not just super worky, we're doing team building. We're encouraging each other. Like, we group is what the agency / consultancy business is called, and we go through a hiring process. And the way it works is a little different. Like, once you're hired, you pay a membership of $60 a month, right? So what you do is, like, you pay the 60 and we give you clients all month long, because I've been blessed to have so many, connections and projects, but I can't take them all myself. So how it works, and I'm gonna do a video explaining this because a lot of people have been asking this, but how it works is they submit an application, we go through the application process, and I talk to my team about it. They know they're being recorded because I'm gonna consult my team about it. And if we choose to move forward, they'll meet the team. And then, like, they'll do the $60 flat rate for the month, and then we'll jump in. The flat rate includes weekly meetings with our one-on-one. We have a life coach, a part of our team, so she does like mental health with all of us weekly, ensuring that as a creative, we're still creating, but we're stable. So we have the one-on-one mental health. We have weekly meetings. So in those meetings, like, if branding is an issue, backtrack, in the one-on-one, she talks about personal, but she also talks about how we can better assist, right? So we have a checklist, and within the checklist, it's like, I need help in branding, or I need help in this area, I need help in this area. So either myself, the next week when we have our we group meeting, we can talk about, well, these are some good softwares to create a logo. Here's the first 3 steps to creating a logo, or here's the first 10 keys you need to branding yourself. Or if she's a makeup artist and she wants to know this certain thing and YouTube didn't do it for her, well, maybe I can bring in a makeup artist and have them run the meeting that week. Not only that, but we're giving monthly gift boxes with our merch, and we was talking about candles. We have the mirrors, we have our in my bag bags, we have our mugs, we have all these things. And then on top of that, we have community and we have accountability, like Asia was saying. So I think that when breaking it down, and they helped me with this a lot, like $60. And even Asia, we spoke about this before I launched. It was like, you really can up the price for what you're giving a whole experience, but the way my heart is set up, it's like, if you're starting your business, you're probably paying a whole bunch of other fees to get your business started. So 60, 60 is the 60. And
Right.
you give me the 60, I'll give you the clients. You have the liberty to decline or accept them. You got your encouragement boxes. You got your life coach. We got the meetings. So we're setting you up to succeed regardless. All you got to do is show up. And I think that, Asia, you touched on this, like, it's the accountability. This is what I could do for you, but show me what you could do. I'm giving you the tools. What you going to do with them? So I think it's really important, and we have said this in all different ways, but that accountability, that tribe, and sticking to whatever is in the fine print. Let that be the fine print until it goes down. So sorry, I got passionate again.
You're fine.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
So I actually don't charge for what I do. And I struggled hard with this. So Missionary kind of touched on, like, I do kind of assist my friends and things like that with their businesses. If you have a question, anything like that, like, you could text me and I'm just thinking, like, my brain just goes, like, I don't. And so it was really hard for me to step out on faith on myself and help myself, because I'm like, all right, like, if I leave my job, I'm not going to have an income. I don't want to really charge for advising anyone, because that goes against what I really believe. Because I feel like education should be free. That's just that.
Yes. Absolutely.
And so for me, initially, like, I had like this price list, and I was talking to, like, my old coworkers, and they were just like, like, your prices are low. And then one day I don't know if this is TMI, but God speaks to me in the shower. That's just that. Like, that's our time.
Yes.
I'm in the shower and I just feel so deeply in my spirit, like, don't charge. Like, trust what you do and don't charge. I called my friend and I'm like, yo, like, I really don't think I need to be charging for this. Like, it goes against everything that I feel and I don't feel right. So I decided to do it on my own and just like not charge for what I do. And then I'm thinking, like, you have all these other nonprofits that are well known. I've worked for them, and like, how am I going to compete with them? And I just had to think and look back on like my mom passed a couple of years ago, but I always say like she set me up and my brother up in a way where it's just like, I don't know, like she connected us to so many different people where she she had this friend. I would come home from school and they would have like these lunch meetings. Old little white lady. She's amazing. She's like my fairy godmother. And she quit her job to start her own business. And her business is like finding grants for nonprofits or any type of business. And so in my head, she comes to my head and I email her and I'm like, I'm starting my own business. I don't want to charge for what I do. I want to be able to like, like offer scholarships. I want to like just telling her all these things. And she's giving me the steps. Like, this is what you need to do. From there, this is what we're going to do. Like, it's just amazing how God works. Like, that's all I can say. And although like I felt super discouraged and like thought about the competition, like I know what I have to offer. I know like what I do and like how not like my friend always tells me like you're an expert in what you do and you got to trust that. And that's just like what keeps you going.
Well, and I think your confidence too, like within yourself, is very important as well, because it's kind of like, God only made one of you, like it doesn't, like it's only one gap, even though we have H&M, we got Forever 21, we got Fashion Over, Dior, all this other stuff. But it's what separates, I feel like your business in general is your intention. And I really feel like because you're so intentional, and even within like all the ladies, I'm really talking to everyone truly. I love you. It's the passion of the why you're doing it, and like who you're trying to reach for. Like you want your people, specifically African American, to be better, to be in better situations where we can, we can stop, even though it's kind of hard to stop racism, but make it hard for them to we're here and we're not going nowhere type thing. I don't care if I did come from the projects. Yeah, you will see me on that billboard, like, and I have, you are going to be a support, hopefully for Destiny Daughters, because we have 2 young ladies that's going to college, and just the whole process. Like, I was a little excited, but I was like, I think I need resources. And just hearing this, I'm like gagging for real. I'm like, what? Where the hell have you been, girl? Like, I got a whole community. You want some people? I can get you some people. I'm like, you want some kids? We got some kids. Like,
yes.
Oh
so
my
this
gosh.
I'm sorry. Were you done?
No, I'm done.
Done? Okay.
I'm just like, wow, this is dope.
No. Yeah, it's definitely crazy how this platform even is connecting people. And, of course, I knew it would be a connecting point, but I didn't think that y'all would connect on that level where she could bring you clients. So that's super dope. So starting with Crystal, I want you guys to speak to your younger self. And hold on one second. We got one more question, and it happens to be my man, y'all. Said the younger generation is struggling to dream again. What is one thing you will tell or say to someone from that generation who has a dream but is afraid to go after it? So we can intertwine that with the last question. So you can say something to your younger self, and then you can say something to a younger person, coming up behind you.
Okay, so I think if I could say something to my younger self, it would be never to dim your light for no one, for no reason. All those, because growing up, I've had so many spontaneous, random, creative ideas. And not to say that they were all shut down, but everyone would look at me like, where did it come from? And never say, go for it, rather than, why don't you try this? So I would basically tell my younger self, it was on your heart for a reason, go for it. If you don't know how to go for it, ask someone. Don't only go to your friends and family for validation and reassurance. Ask strangers, not strangers, but ask people outside of your normal circle.
Right.
And when it comes to the younger generation now, if they're scared to go for it, it would basically be the same thing. I would say reach out to someone that you see doing what you like and ask them how can you get started, if they know of any resources that may help you or something like that. So like a mentorship type thing.
Yeah, I love that.
Crystal, you kind of like hit it on the nail with that one. Never to dim my light for anyone. I don't care how low their self-esteem is, because I was that person like, no, I'm okay being in the back, or please don't put the light on me, or like, please don't be the girl like, oh, she's a pretty girl to school, like, please, no, I can't even have a boyfriend. Like, I was like that kid, like, no, stop. I do not want any attention, like, no, I'm gonna get in trouble. But being an adult now, I would say to my younger self, like, it's okay to be you. It's okay to be quirky, to be funny, to, all these attributes of yourself that you probably got teased over, they was really admiring,
Right.
Bullies are real, and I will also say to anyone who's, following somewhere in my footsteps and that's afraid, I would definitely tell them it's only one you. God only made one of you, and if he brought this to you, it's because he's going to help you get through it. That's something. And just trust. Trust is very easier said than done. But just giving him a opportunity to show you and bring people in your life, in your life, because he never, even in the Bible, there's nothing in the Bible that said he was doing anything alone. So it's like, even if you feel like you don't have a team, like, God, bring me my tribe, like, help me find my tribe, like, put me in a situations to discover people with my same passion, or, so we can create kind of like woman enterprise. Like, I think that's so dope how y'all all push each other. And it's also like mental health, because a lot of, companies don't have that. I'm like, more sick days. I don't need that. I need mental health days. I don't need no sick days. But yeah, I would just tell them, just follow your heart. Follow your heart.
Surely, Asia.
I feel like everyone said like key points. But for me, if I'm thinking back to like when I was a kid, I was always told I was loud and very like, just like, you should be quiet. And I would say be loud and be opinionated and ask uncomfortable questions and say yes to every opportunity that's presented to you. I think a lot of times I get in my head kind of like wanting to be in the background, not liking spotlight. Even for this, like I was like,
I know.
Same.
And I had to push you off the ledge.
Exactly. So make sure you find your tribe and just like your support system, but definitely say yes to every opportunity. And for the younger generation, find your tribe, find the friends that will push you, and not even just friends, but networking is key for sure. And just because, and this kind of goes for me too, just because there's multiple people doing what you want to do doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to do it the way you do it. So take that leap of faith on yourself and just keep pushing. It gets hard, but take the days that you need because mental health is very important, and then regroup and jump back in it.
Surely. So we're gonna start with Asia. If you guys see the other ladies get out of the room, it's just gonna be because Asia is gonna plug herself, and then we'll have everyone come back in afterwards. But Asia, you can just say your social media or whatever you want to promote, just so everyone can either screenshot it, write it down real quick, so they can get your information and get connected with you. I see your Instagram below. If we can just move the question so everyone can see it, that'll be good. The a word to your younger self is kind of covering the handle on my end. I don't know. There we go. So if you guys want to get Asia's information, you can screenshot that. Like I said, write it down. Anything you want to say, Asia, before you head out?
Yeah, sure. So this is actually my personal personal Instagram page, but that is perfectly fine. I don't discriminate, but I do have a business page. It's at Rain to Success. So rain like rainy to TO success. You can hit me up either place. My personal page or my business page. My email is linked into my business page. So if you have any questions, you can definitely email me as well.
Thank
you.
Thank you for joining, Asia.
No problem.
Yes. So next we can have Crystal come in so she can plug herself. While we're waiting, I just want to let everyone know that I'm super appreciative that you guys joined in for the third episode of Sincerely a Black Woman. We are just waiting for Crystal to join in so she can plug herself. You're back. There you go.
Yes. First, I just want to say this was amazing.
Thank you.
Very happy to meet all of you ladies. You can find us at adashoflux.com. That's ADASHOFLUXE.com. Email is info.adashoflux.com. Our socials were on Twitter. Everything's the same handle. So Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Yeah. One of you guys did mention about making candles. You can book me to teach candle making classes. So.
I have a question. Yeah. Do you do candle class parties?
Yeah, I'll do a candle class party. And I'll come to you too.
I'm gonna message you after this because I want to do the candle, but I think it'll be dope. That'll be like a good team building activity for my team and I.
Yes. And then you'll have like really good takeaways after too. So
for sure. Thank you so much for joining with us, Crystal. I had so much fun. And we are waiting for Kalani. Last, y'all know y'all can follow us on woMAN Enterprises on Instagram, and Kalani is right here, so I'll stop talking now. Yeah. You can just say whatever your information is. Thank you so much for coming on, firstly.
Yes, thank you for even inviting me. This was a wonderful experience. I've learned so much just by interacting with you guys. Didn't expect it to be such a spiritual conversation. Yeah. Like it was very pleasant. Yeah. And you can find me at LOOKSX is an X-ray, KAY looks by K. You can even email me at looksbyk@gmail.com if you have any questions just on how to get started, prices, anything you name up. I do have my website under construction right now, so I am checking my emails nonstop. So please feel free. You can also follow me for my podcast at Let Us Sip Podcast. We drop a episode every Thursday.
Nice.
Every Wednesday we always go on live, so hopefully you can come on our live one day and talk about surprises or come on our show.
For sure.
We do Zoomed as well. And yeah, Let Us Sip Pod on IG. You can find us on Spotify, what is it? Apple, pretty much any podcast that have any
Mhm.
platform that has podcasts, excuse me.
So
Check us out. Check us out. Yes.
thank you so much for joining.
Thank you. Thank you.
Nice
Thank
to
you.
hear. So we are wrapping up the third episode of Sincerely a Black Businesswoman. As y'all can see, every week it's getting better. We getting a little bit of tea, a little bit of business tips, info. Shout out to my team. Shout out to everyone who is tuned in, and they're pretty dope panelists. Like, it's getting better and better and better, and I'm just appreciative to be in connection with women who are, breaking borders in their different areas. So, you can follow us on woMAN Enterprises on Instagram. You can go on our website, which is womanenterprise.com. And then y'all can follow us on YouTube at woMAN TV. So thank y'all for checking back in with us, and I will see y'all next week. Bye.